Good afternoon, everybody. Okay, there we go. Just wait for the stream to come up. Okay, so I've got the stream up. So, back today with a live, and I thought that I would do my one little word. I talked about this, I don't know, a week ago, or 2 weeks at the end of December daily or something, about doing a live stream to do my one little word. And so I've decided I'm going to do that. So I have 2 photos of myself here, obviously, and I was trying to decide which one to use, and I'm still not sure. I like the detail of the color here, but I don't love this red in the background here. It was a photo that, a selfie that my boyfriend just took of the 2 of us when we were out and about going to a restaurant that has a history in my area that was closed for a while and now has reopened. So I thought about, so anyway, I'm thinking that red checkered piece might be a little distracting, but I also, as I'm looking at this, kind of like the way the 2 of these kind of lay up against each other. The one thing is that there's a lot going on here, and where and how am I getting my word in here if I use this particular paper? I love this paper. And I think it does work really well with this photo. So I'm going to just take that right now, leave that sort of like that is, and then look to see, are there other things? Now, I should also tell you, if I decide to use this, I might do a little old school and use some of these flowers and leaves to sort of blend into this background. And I did a live, I think a week ago, I think that was a week ago on Friday, where I used this collection, which is Coco Vanilla Studio Merry and Bright, which was their last year Christmas collection, and I love it. It's one of my favorite collections. I thought it would be fun to use it for this. So kind of toying with that. I also grabbed, as a possible thing to use, some Bo Bunny doilies. And then I've used this alpha before. It's a wood alpha to do the scrapbooking here. Now, the only thing is if I use this paper, I'd probably need to come up with a different alpha here, just because it's a little bit, what do I want to say? The brown is not in this paper, so I'm not quite sure what's going to go on. So this will be one of those good ones where you get to see a lot of my thought process here. But let's go back and see if I can find another paper that I like as well. That would need a separation for sure. And I'm just thinking, the more I look at this, the more I really like that other paper, guys. So let me take a look. There are some others in here. I like the color. And this, I think I could use it, but I think it fights the red a little bit. There is the back of this one, which looks like this. I'm just thinking it's not as strong though as I'm doing this. There's some labels sort of here, but I could use some of these, I suppose. The more I think about it, the more I like the idea. So I've got this little green here that could come behind. The more I like the idea of using, oops, let's go back to that. The more I like the idea of using this. So a couple things need to happen before I decide this for sure. One of them is that I'm going to trim off the bottom of this photograph here. And you just trim the photographs, I guess. Not just that photograph, but this other one as well too. So that I have something that I can really gauge size and all of that. Okay. All right. And then again, I can do it like that. The other thing, and the other thing about this is I also need to have somewhere to journal. That's my other thing, is where do I journal if I do both of those photos? Because there's not a lot of room on there. Now, and by the way, this is the Merry and Bright Happy Holidays paper, in case anybody's wondering. So one of the so there's the 2022. I could use that. So I often will do my journaling hidden anyway. So I could add a little bit of a tag back here to do my journaling. And I have these 3x4 cards, so that would be really simple. And then, you know, I could just staple a little something on it. I know there's, like in these tags, there's this little piece here that I could attach to the top and just say, you know, pull or something like that. So that would have to come back here and kind of stick out, whatever I would decide to do. And some of these do have plain backgrounds, or I could make this tag like this, cut the top and bottom and all of that for it, and then put another piece of paper behind it. So for instance, my idea of thinking about this now is I would just, because I do like that, I would think that would be good to write on. And I like the idea of the color there, but then I can just tape them back to back, and I can journal on the front and the back that way. That is one thing that I could do to do that. So that's starting to come together thought-wise. A lot of these are very Christmassy in this particular pack, but I happen to find that one with a gingham that is not. Then the other question is, that's a nice one. Where would my word go? Because we've got 2022 up there. I don't like seeing stuff behind. And would I be able to fit? Like, I think if I put invest above here, it wouldn't look right. So it almost would need to go down here. So I'm going to grab, a piece of wax paper here, because that's an easy way to move titles around, right? And I can use, you know, if I'm trying to decide between multiple fonts, I could use multiple fonts to do that. So that's the other thing that's kind of a little, you know, it's kind of nice about that. So this should be not too hard to get this down. And maybe I don't do it with, you know, maybe I bring in, see if I can find some blue, which is in my stash as well too. Or I could do like some of the Ellie Studio things. The one thing I don't like is that 2022 is so big, and then my word wouldn't be as big, but I do like the dimension in that as well. So these are my thoughts running through my head. Sometimes I have things sort of planned out in my head about what I'm going to do. In this particular case, you can tell I don't exactly know the answer to these questions right now. And that's, I guess, good to see too, because that's what we all go through as we scrapbook, right? So if I'm going to do this, I was thinking I might want to pull it in so that, okay, so that's what it looks like with the brown. Not loving brown. It's okay, but I'm not loving that. And I'm thinking, I don't know why, but I'm thinking I want that blue. Ooh, when I hope I didn't rock the desk there, but I was sitting on my foot, which I shouldn't be doing, and almost fell off my chair. So that's not good. So I'm just going to go grab a couple of letter stickers here that I think are sort of in that color range, and then see if we can find something that I like better. Otherwise, I could take off the 2022 and put, you know, it in another color, in like the brown or whatever that is. I think part of the problem with the brown for me right now is that it's not appearing anywhere else in the layout. So, sorry guys, it's taking me a little bit. I was thinking about doing this beforehand, but of course I did not. So that's, you know, making things a little harder here. So I think I have everything in that colorway specifically. Okay, now I also do have some, I also do have Ellie Studio letter stickers as well too. So let's just look and see what would work. That would work. This would work and is a really nice color match and probably would be small enough here. This is not a great color match, and I don't like the glitter, and at least that glitter. And then I have this one as well. So I think this is almost a little bit too whimsical for me, and I think you would, I want to pop the what I want to say, I want to pop the word, because obviously it's my word for the year, but do I want to pop it that much? So let's see if I can grab, I'm going to try both of these and see what happens. So good thing wax paper is inexpensive, because then I can just, you know, do what I need to do here. Now I also could do this in white too to match that. The white though is, does that even show up? Not on there, it doesn't. This I think because it's a little bit bigger, but see, that's really disappearing. I could put it on some sort of like, you know, put another piece of paper down there, but I don't think I want to do that in this particular case. So I think I'm going to stay right now thinking in terms of blue tones here. These, I love these letters. So let's see. Almost got this one. There we go. Okay, so there's what it would look like if I did it down here with that alpha, which is okay. Just going to see if I can, nope, I don't really like it up there. To put it in there, I think it disappears. So I think I'd have to do it down here. And I probably would bring this a little bit closer to the bottom then as well, just so I don't have so much room. Okay, so that's that version. Again, not loving that version. Too different from what else is going on. Unless I would put I could put a frame around this in the wood, which I have done before. Let me just show you what that would look like. I don't think I need it though. And I think there's so much black. Yeah, I think there's so much black in this. I don't really like the brown with this particular wreath paper. And I do love these wreaths, so that's nice. All right, so then let's see what we can do if I can find, hopefully I will be able to get the word out of these letter stickers. Let's see. Oh, so we're going to have a little bit of a problem. I'm going to have to MacGyver an E out of this, but let's see. And if you haven't heard that term before, it's MacGyvering is when you change your letter stickers to make another letter because you don't have the other letter, which is what's going on here. And one of the reasons I do this, not just to record the word every year, but because I have a 12 by 12 dimensional frames, shadow box frame, right above my scrapbook desk. And so I look at that every time I'm in here. And I spend, you know, quite a bit. This is not just my scrap room, but it is my office. So I have little business functions to do every week. So I don't have any 3s left here. And I already used my ease up. So I already used my ease up. I don't have any 3s. So what I'm thinking is that I could take this C and make it into an E because I've got dots here. Fortunately, out of all of these sheets, I do have one S left. So that looks a little weird right now, but we can make that work. And here's the T. So then I would cut that off a little bit more to make this C a little bit more open. Fortunately, I do have a couple more if it doesn't work. And then here would be, we'd put this little dot here, which is why I need to cut that off. So I'm thinking that I like this font much better than this font, even though I have to MacGyver that one. I like it because I think this disappears. It's so small, especially compared to that 2022 up there. So I think that we have the answer to this. Now, the question is, how much space do I want at the bottom here? And I really like the way the color and black and white photographs are working here. Maybe a little bit more angle on that one. Okay, so I think we have that. Now, I don't think I'm going to do any doilies here. I have a plan for the photos here, so I think that's pretty good. I do have some extra die cuts here that I could use, and this is a Christmas collection. I think it is looking a little more Christmassy than the last layout that I did, but I'm okay with that. So I have hearts, I have flowers. I do like have this flower cluster here. I don't think I want flowers as big as that though, because this is so big. I don't know that I want this to like have something like that, because that appears very Christmassy. And I could do that. I also have a Love This and Oh Joy. Then, remember I said I have these flowers. I think these are going to be too big because they're almost as big as that. But I do have, whoops, these. So let's see if I put some of these around, and these are Prima. If I put some of these around in clusters, like what would that do on the layout? Or added, the other thing I like to do is sort of, if I'm going to do this, then I will also add them into other spots here. Let's see, do I have any more of those glitter flowers? I only may have, oh, there we go. Here's another couple. You like the glitter ones. How many of these? I have 4 of these. So could I add? Maybe kind of like that. Okay. So I have those. I'm going to just pop those off to the side here. Hey, Janet, thank you. And then I have a few of these, whoops, red ones. And there is red in here. Plus, obviously, I'm wearing that red scarf, so I don't think it's a bad thing. And then the nice part about these is there are 2 glitter ones, but, oops, and I just accidentally grabbed, I think, one of, whoops, I'm missing that one glitter one when I move stuff out of the way. There we go. Close enough, right? So then I'm thinking what I could do is layer in some of these guys as well. Let's see. Just trying to decide, is that too much? Is it enough? I don't like it just there and there, but the red is kind of throwing me a little bit. That much red was kind of throwing me a little bit. So let's see. I also happen to have these green leaves, which I have a boatload of these guys. I haven't used Prima flowers in ages, so it might be nice to get some of these on here. Okay, so now that that's all on there, it feels a little busy. And you know what's throwing me is this 2022. It just feels like a lot of stuff now. Although if I don't have something up there, that unbalances that there as well. Okay, going back. Good idea, Jen. I will try that. Because I think this is too much. Yeah, I start losing the stuff there. So let's try. I'm going to try it by taking the red off the top. I like that a lot better. That was a good suggestion. And maybe just do so the thing about that that's kind of nice is that might actually be working a little bit better because the red draws your eye down here more towards the title. And I'm going to try this as well, just to take it totally off. I don't like it totally off. And then right now I have 2 leaves on there. Yeah, and I'm going to go to 1 leaf on here as well too, just because I think that that works. It looks more like what the other ones look like. So since we have that decided, you know, I don't have my photos glued down or anything like that yet. I think I'm going to glue the photo down though. This photo down. The other one's going to be a little trickier. So I'll show you how I'm going to do that in a minute. And then I usually just use the ATG on the back of these acrylics from Ellie Studio, and I've never had anything fall off. Oh, thanks, Janet. Yeah, I like it better too. Now the question is, I'm moving this 2022 around because I'm not loving that little piece showing through. That little red circle showing through. Okay, I'm going to drop this just a little bit, this photo just a little. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to glue these down because otherwise I'm going to have a mess. It'll be hard to, it will be hard to get those, to figure out where everything was again. So let's just glue. And I just use glue dots on the back of these flowers. I think it's what I've always used. Not that I have to use them just because I've always used them, but that's why I do. They're just easy. So this is really not that exciting. Yeah, and Janet, thanks for like bringing my attention to that, because I do like this much better now with that, just the blue, and I think, or the blue at the top, because I think what it does is it really brings your eye down to that photo cluster. Now I probably am going to come in and grab a couple of gems or something, because I need something in the middle of those flowers, and just a just a gem. And I tend to like clear gems on things like this. We'll see. Okay, so that one's down. And again, I just want to be careful about picking anything up here. Because otherwise I'm going to make a mess and I won't know where anything's positioned. And these are going to be the hard ones. The one thing that's hard about these sometimes, like the leaves here, is that they're paper. And it's hard to get the get them to hold. I thought I had, oops, the one that I had on here did not stick. The paper comes off a lot of times on the glue dot and then doesn't stick to the flower. So if that happens, what I usually do is I just grab my like my little tweezers or your pokey tool or something and pull the it off and then put it onto the flower. This is why I'm doing this, because there's that photo already shifted underneath my fingers there. Sorry, this is really boring, you guys. But here we go. And I'm glad because to do this today, because my little frame has been sitting empty for about a week because I took my 2021 word and put it in my album. I always save a spot. It's the very first layout in an album for a year. Okay, yay. That part's done. Always my first spot in the album for the year. This can pull down a little bit yet. Okay, so I'm going to move that down and move that down. And now I like that a little bit. And that's just still mostly sitting on white there. Let's see if I can move this over just a tiny bit. And that's actually covering one of the berries there, but that's good. Okay, so now the next thing we have to do is get this on, right? So I'm gonna do these back to back first. And then okay, so just want to make sure that these sit properly. And then I'll show you the trick for getting your corners even when you do this, if you don't have like one of the corner punches. So you take your piece, and then what you do is you flip it. In this particular case, I think I'm going to flip it this way. And then you just cut it like this. And now they're exactly even. I don't have to worry about the fact that they're not completely right there. So then I'm going to hole punch with my hole punch here. And I do have the We Are Memory Keepers little piece that makes the reinforcer for the tag, but I don't know that I want to do that today. I think I'm going to leave it as it is, just because I think there's plenty of room. And then I made this come up just a little bit here. I'm going to make that go on a line there. And this is, I don't want to angle this. I want to angle this, but not too much. And I think the red in this is doing a nice job of kind of neutralizing that that red and white check. We were at a Big Boy, if any of you know what that is. And they used to have Big Boys in Wisconsin, but they didn't. And then a new one came to the Milwaukee area last year. So what I'm doing is I'm just gluing right around this tag so that it has to sit in that spot. Hold on to this because it's hard to glue the way I was going to. So it can't go any further. Once this is down, that's the spot it will sit in. Okay, so let's pick that up. So I don't know if you can see that easily, but there's that. Then let's get this here, and I'm kind of mindful. This is going to be up a little bit. Mindful of where that invest is going to sit. Let's come over just a little bit. Okay, I think that's good. Then, when I put this in, yeah, that's what, I think I posted that somewhere, Janet, and somebody else said that they hadn't seen a big boy in 30 years. Let me think, I'm trying to think. Yeah, that's probably around what it is. One of my high school friends worked for one after we graduated from college, but that 30 years is probably not far off. I'm wondering if I should drop this just a little bit. Let me see what that would do. Just kind of snuggle things up here a little bit more so that kind of follows in the middle. And I'll grab a matching twine here. I've got lots of blues and that kind of stuff. Okay, so we have that done. Now, to get the word in here, where do I want and how do I want this to sit? And I think, of course, I would want to start with the hardest letter, which is the S, to get this. I love this alpha. I think it's called Rockabye. Yeah, Rockabye. I think you can still buy this at like Michael's or Joann's. Okay, and then I'm going to take this, and the first thing I'm going to do is trim off this little top piece for that C. Will you be able to see I trimmed this? Yes. Does that bother me? No. And then I'm going to trim this out a little bit here at the top, and then a little bit more, just a tiny bit more at the bottom, because we have to make room for that dot for the E, which then gives us that little thing we need for the E. Oops. Okay, there we go. Now we have an E. And the fact that I MacGyvered this is funny because that's definitely something I do a lot. I had hoped to get this. What I should have done is looked at how this looked on my sheet before because now it's kind of going crooked. Okay, let's do this. I think my V is going a little crooked here, so the rest of my word is going crooked. Like I said, I love this layout or this font, but it's really hard to manipulate. And if I use my tweezers, it can sometimes put a dent in it, but I think I'm going to have to do that because I'm having a hard time seeing. I want to match up the top here and the top there. There we go. Okay, and then this guy needs to come down a little bit, I think. I'm going to glue. I forgot that I didn't glue this down here. So let's get that glued down. The hardest thing about this layout is getting my E down, which is silly. Okay, let me put this. I think it would also help if I had this not crooked on my sheet too, or on my desk. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's just get that down. Was that Lane Eamon used to say better done than none. So let's do better done than none here. Okay, see, I just made an indentation in that S, but I'm going to live with it. Okay, and here's my T. And we'll put that there. I think this is still a little crooked, but I'm going to deal with it. Okay, then what I want to do now, let me go grab some jewels, and I have to remember what box they're in. I don't use them as often. I went through a stage a couple months ago where I was pulling them out all the time, and I've left them again. And let's see. Here they are. So I could use either pearls or rhinestones, and I'm leaning towards just regular rhinestones and in a clear. I tend to either go clear or match up the colors here. And since this is a glitter piece, I think I'm just going to stay clear. So just add one of those in the middle of each of those. And then these little red one, this little red one already has a center, and I don't know that I'll be able to get that to stick. I might try. Okay, let's see, because it looks a little weird without one there. Well, it stuck to my shirt or my sweater. I actually think that'll stick, so that's good. And now the question is, do I want to add a couple more of these in this bottom, in these bottom flowers? And I think so. It just kind of pulls the story together here. One there. And there's no small flower over here. I think this is a little close, a little too close. It's going to look funny if I have all big ones and only this one small one, so I may pull that one off. Kind of liking this. Okay, that just became too much. Isn't that funny? Just one small thing. And then this guy. I don't want it to be a different size, so let's see. So then we have two here that don't have them in, but I think that's okay. It's an odd number right now, so I kind of like that. Then my other thought here was I do have some word stickers. I wanted to get this all done before I decided if I was going to do this or not. But these are from the Marion Bright stickers, accessory stickers here. And I'm trying to think, I saw like Believe in here. So I'm just going to see if maybe I can get these snuck in a couple of places, like Believe there. And then let's see, Wonderful Time. I saw a couple that would work. Moments Magic, Traditions might work because this is a tradition for me to do this now. Oh, and the one thing I didn't do is I usually do OLW somewhere. So I know it's my one little word, but I think that's good enough. There's one here that says time, and I think that would be kind of a cool one because my word is invest. Let's see if I like this. Oh, good morning, Jillian. That's awesome. I don't think I've ever had anybody from Australia on a live, at least not who said they were here. So cool. All right, I'm liking the way these little words are looking, just popped in here. And then I have one more over here. I don't want to do anything too big. I think, well, I was going to say wish, but then it means like, it feels like I'm just doing like wishes. Maybe joyful, like I'm doing this joyfully. Okay, that works better. Okay. Yeah. And then what I do, I don't mind that this ends up, this tradition needs to be, oh yeah, definitely. Jillian said she loved that this is 12 by 12. It's how I scrap almost everything except for my December daily. And once in a while, a weekend trip, I might do a mini album, but rarely. Okay, close enough. All right, so I think that's good. Oh, I need a little bit of color up there. So I'll get my magic box of twine. If you guys have a Hobby Lobby anywhere near you, they sell these huge packs of baker's twine. Oh, look at that. That even matches that color. I think that's what we'll do. I do have this one as well. That would work. Oh, let's try this one and see. But anyway, if you have a Hobby Lobby, they have these huge packages of twine, and every color in the world is in there, which is awesome. Because then you don't have to buy twine for a long time. Okay, I think I like it with that color on it. Just because that color is so prevalent. All right, you guys, I really think that this is done. And look at that. I used some old school supplies with these flowers. Oh my gosh. Yay me. And I was thinking about them, I think just because my granddaughter she was here at the end of December and she was looking at them, and then we were talking about them, and I was thinking, geez, I haven't used those in ages. And as I was thinking about these flowers here, I don't know if I have even more than one more of these die cuts, because I used them on a layout that I fussy cut this just last week. So thanks, Jillian. So yeah, light blue twine I think works good, and it kind of blends up into that. But anyway, so I started thinking about, oh, maybe I could use some of those flowers. So I just went and grabbed the ones I did. And Janet, that was a good call to take the red off of up here when I had them up here and just leave it down here so that it brings your eye down into the layout, into the bottom, to the invest, which is important. Those of you who joined a little bit later, because I know just I can tell by numbers, that this is from Ellie's studio. Oh, and Jillian said she's working on her 2021 one little word right now, and she just finished her December daily. So yay you. That's awesome. So I'm thinking this is really done. I don't think I'm going to worry about, like I said, normally I do OLW somewhere on this to qualify it as, to show that it's my one little word, but it's always the first layout in my book. And I can do that when I put one little word here when I do my journaling, which I'm going to do as soon as we're off. And I do like, some years I show my journaling, and then some years I will hide it like this. And it doesn't really matter. I know what my things are behind the one little word, so that's okay. But it gives me room to just sort of write. And in this particular case, I just love this. And I am so glad that I get to look at this paper for the next year, or almost, well, probably about the whole next year. So Janet said she just realized she missed 90% of her one little word. So yeah, you can do it either way. Sometimes I'll throw it on a 3x4 card. Sometimes I'll do it like this. And I think it's fine like this. So, all right, you guys. So back to 12 by 12 scrapbooking again. For those of you who've been watching a lot of December daily videos, because obviously those were every day with just 2 12 by 12 layouts. I haven't done a 2-page layout in a while, just because I did very little 12 by 12 scrapbooking in December because I was so much about my December daily. But I always do plenty of layouts so that they never stop through the month of December, because I've always done December daily, but I missed my favorite scrapbookers who didn't do 12 by 12s. So anyway, So that's it. You actually got to see me MacGyver a letter and use old school flowers and rhinestones. So yay, yay. So all right, you guys, thanks for joining me today. And thanks just for all of your support and all of that. And I will be back with another 12 by 12 layout, probably a live stream. I think on Friday. I think I'll be able to do one on Friday night at some point. So, although I think Janet might be sleeping, or Jillian might be sleeping at that time. I don't know what Janet's going to be doing. So, but anyway, you guys take care, and I will see you guys next week. Bye, everybody.